Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with my awaited Colourpop declutter. I have mentioned this in a couple of videos that I want to go through and declutter all of my Colourpop palettes as well as my singles, which you can see here in the center. I do also have some Super Shock shadows that I will go through. So I'm basically covering all of my Colourpop eyeshadows. The main reason why I'm doing this is because I want to declutter the shadows that don't inspire me, the ones that don't really feel like they're as good as other things I have anymore, or you know, just things that I don't like anymore. So we're gonna go through this today and I'm gonna go through the palettes. There are a couple of palettes that I probably won't change anything with, but we'll see when I go through them. But overall I just want to downsize this collection. So before we jump into this, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So the first palette I'm going to cover is this one here, which is the Through My Eyes palette. I'm going to go kind of in sizing of palette. I'm going to start with this one, which is a 16 palette, and then go to my 12 pans and then my 9 pans. So this palette here is, like I said, my biggest one. And this is probably one of my favorite Colourpop palettes. It looks like this on the inside. I feel like the quality in here is really, really good. I don't know, with this one, it's the only thing that I want to declutter. I'm going to go through and swatch the shades out in here. And swatching, I'm going to start with the shimmers just to see how they are. So the first one here is the shade Lucidio, which isn't an amazing shadow, but it's a good in the corner shadow, so I feel like that's good. This one here, that's really pretty. This is like the formula of Colourpop that I do still really like, because it's quite sparkly and quite textured. We have this one here. I've skipped the red, I just realized, but I'll swatch that in a second. This green here isn't the absolute best, but it's still quite nice. It has like almost a blue shift to it. This palette is honestly one of my favorites because the formula in here is just so good. The red one here though, yeah, that one is more of a satin, but it's a unique color. We have this one here. That's another one of those really nice sparkly ones that I like. I think this one should be the same. This is the Shadow Flex. This one is so pretty. Like, honestly, the quality in this palette is so good. And we have Nocturne, which is this one here. That one I'm not crazy about. The last one there is this one here, which is not one I'm crazy about. But overall, the shimmers in here are still really good. If I were to get rid of anything, I probably would replace these three here, which is this one, and this one. But for now, I do still like them. I feel like this one will serve a purpose in a corner shadow. It doesn't have to be super sparkly. This one here can work almost as a matte, and it's a really unique color. And then this one here is not my favorite, but again, for the sake of this palette, I do think I'm going to keep it the way it is. I like all of the mattes in here. You know, you have a warm yellow, like an orange matte. You have like a brown. This one does have some glitter in it, but it does blend away. And it's more of a warm tone kind of brown. You also have this one here, which is a really nice light transition. You also have some more of the tones down here. And like setting kind of blending out shadow as well as a deep shadow here. And I feel like with this palette you get a really good mix of colors and a really good array of looks you can make with this, so I'm going to keep this the way it is, especially because I like the shimmers so much already. Let's move on to the second palette, which is this one right here. This one I currently have in my No Pan Left Behind. I recently rolled this one in. This one is the At Foresight palette with Raw Beauty Christie. Honestly, I haven't really used much of this palette. I have reached for another shadow here, I think this one here. But for now, I do want to keep this. I want to play around with it as it is for a bit longer. And there's only two shimmers in here. And both of these are both really stunning, but also shadows that I like a lot. This one here is the not most impactful, but I do like the shade of it. So I'm going to keep this. I think the quality is going to be really nice. And again, it's mainly the shimmers in here that are on the chopping block. And these two are really nice. So I'm going to keep it the way it is. Moving on to the next one, we have this one here, which is the last one of my bigger palettes. And then we have my 9 pans, which are the ones that are mainly on the shopping block for me. But this one is my Sweet Talk palette, and this is what my one looks like. I know I'm going to keep this shadow. I really like it. It's a Super Shock shadow. It's quite sparkly and pretty. Sorry about the reflection, by the way. This palette is a very, very effective palette. But let's swatch out the other shades to see how I feel about them and if there's anything I want to replace. So here are the last shimmers. These two originally come from the palette. These two are replaced with the pressed glitters that were in here originally. And honestly, those are the ones that are mainly on the shopping block. I'm swatching this one too, actually. Because I feel like this one could work as an inner corner highlight, so I don't know if I need this one too. But it is a useful shadow, and this one is quite pretty, but I don't know. I feel like all of these are pretty. This shadow is the one I'm most hesitant about because it's quite a bright color, and it's not something that I would wear all over the lid. This one that's on the maybe for now. We'll see. This is a palette that I do want to keep, but what I'm thinking is maybe I do want to replace that with like an indie eyeshadow and like press it in here. So here's one that is on the shopping block, especially this shade here, and potentially the ones that I already replaced with these three here. But for now I'm going to keep it, and again the mattes in here are really lovely and I feel like they do give a lot of variety and stuff, so I'm going to keep this as it is for now. But I will come back maybe to this later and look at it, and if I do a video with pressing shadows into palettes, I might consider doing it to this one, but for now it will stay like this. So we haven't been doing too well with a declutter, but we are going to get better, especially when moving into this one. So this is my Lilac You A Lot palette. This is one of my favorite £9 palettes for a long time. I really love this palette, but using it recently I just realized that I have so many better things, and the shimmers in here are just not up to par anymore. So I'm definitely going to declutter a couple of things in here. So let's start with this color here in the corner, which is Cloud. I mean, look at that. Like, it's just not impactful at all. It's very kind of sheer, it's not very sparkly. That one is going to go for sure. So that is Cloud. That is going to be decluttered. You know, the shadows, like the mattes in here, I'm going to tackle those later. But this one here is another one that, look how lackluster that is. That can go. That's Wake Me. I do have a pan on this one though, but I don't care. It's just very lackluster. I'm going to get rid of everything that is lackluster to me. So that is that one. Then this one here is probably my favorite because this one is a bit more impactful. So I think I might keep that one for now. It's pretty. I might declutter it, I might look at it later comparing it to other things, but for now I'm going to keep that one. And then this one here, which is Trainwreck, is again, it's just like, look at it. That doesn't even look like a shimmer. Like, it's just time for these to go. Maybe they have gone bad, maybe they're not good anymore, but those three are going to go. And then for the mattes in here, I do love them. This one here is not my favorite though, but I do feel like it does have a purpose. So for now I'm going to keep the palette like this. I'm going to come back to you later and see if it's something that I want to pot out of here or if I want to replace the shadows. So let me come back to it later. One quickly that I'm not even going to open up because I don't want to spoil anything is my Star Wars Mandalorian palette. This is my Project Level Up Level 4 palette. So I'm currently working on it and I love everything about this palette. There's nothing about it that I want to change. I love every shade in here. I think every single shade in here has a purpose. I think all of them are up to par in quality, so this one is going to stay the exact same, and I won't even open it up so you can see because I don't want to again spoil any progress. Moving on to the next one, we have the Mar palette, which is another one that might be on the shopping block. This is actually a palette that I created myself. It's a mix mainly between Mar and Soul, but then I also added in these two shadows here. So these ones are from Mar and Soul, but then these two aren't. Looking at this, there's definitely a couple of shadows that I think I want to get rid of. This one here, for example, is just again very lackluster. Again, I have pan on it, but it needs to go. It's just not a shadow that I like anymore, so that has been decluttered. I do like both of these, they can stay. And this shadow here is another one that is quite nice and impactful. So for now I'm going to keep that. However, the one in the middle here, if I remember correctly, is another one that's just not very impactful. It's a unique shadow, but I think I surely have this kind of shadow in a different format, so I'm going to get rid of this one too. And both of these aren't originally from here, or well, this one is from the Soul palette and it's the shade Floaties. And this one, yeah, this one is El Rey because I haven't marked that one, so that is the original shadow, but those two need to go. Then lastly we have this shadow here, which is, I don't know if that's the original My Way, but it's another beautiful kind of formula. Those are kind of the formula that I do want to keep. However, I don't know if it's a shadow that, like a color that I use very much, but for now I'm going to keep it. We might come back to it later. Again, the mattes, the remaining mattes in here I do like, so I'm going to get rid of those two for now and keep the rest. We have my Going Coconuts palette. This is another one that I really love. There's only 3 shimmers in here, and honestly I don't think there's anything that I want to change with this palette because I do love this palette and the shimmers in here are very nice. Yeah, I liked all 3 of those. I like the mattes, so I think I'm going to keep this one as it is. It's a nice neutral palette and I love the tones in here, so this one is staying. Then lastly, for the palettes, we have this one here, which is the Aha Honey palette. Again, I have changed the color here in the middle. That used to be a pressed glitter, but it has been replaced. So let's go ahead and swatch them out. This used to be my favorite color just because of the shift in it, and it is still nice. I mean, it's definitely not that impactful. It's like a yellow with a blue shimmer in it, but I do think I have something similar to this now. I don't have too many yellow shadows though, but I mean, it's not that nice, is it? I don't know, it's hard. This one here, that's quite nice. Yeah, and then we have this one, which is the replace shadow. I think that one is definitely going to go. Yeah, look how lackluster that is. So this one is going to go, which is originally for the Mar palette, and that's the shade Boozy. That's going to go. Queen Bee is another beautiful shadow. So see how those are compared to this one. Yeah, I think it's time to let this one go. I like Sunburst, sorry, but I do have similar shadows now in my indie eyeshadows, and what do I don't know. Let me grab a shadow quickly that I think this might be close to, and I'll be back. So the one I'm comparing it to, this one here, which is Lightspeed from Terra Moons. It's also yellow with a blue shift, but I'm just thinking if this is like too blue that it won't show the yellow tone through it, but you can see like how much more impactful that is. It's not the same though, is it? I feel like I just topped that one up with this one. I feel like you know what, I do like that eyeshadow, but I feel like I never want to reach for it. No, I'm gonna be ruthless. I'm gonna let it go, because I don't reach for yellow toned eyeshadows that much, and when I do, I can reach for my indie eyeshadows or some of these other pure yellows. So this one as well is going to go, which is Sunburst from the Aha Honey palette. So two shadows here as well. The mattes again I do like, so I'm going to keep them for now. And let's reassess. So for now, we have decluttered these here, which are 7 eyeshadows, 7 shimmers. That, like, again, is the main thing that I want to focus on, is the shimmers. So these are going, these are from the Lilac You A Lot. These two, I guess, kind of are from the Aha Honey palette, and these two are from the Mar palette. So those are those eyeshadows. Before going back into the palettes, I want to look through my single colors and again just go through the shimmers, because I want to tackle those first, like I said, and then go through the mattes. So this one here, although this one might not be the absolute best formula, I just love the color of this one so much I want to keep it. That is Mary Jane from the, what's it called, Just My Luck palette. That's staying. This one here is also another one that looks super pretty. This one is definitely one of the best shimmers that I've had from Colourpop. This one is from the It's My Pleasure palette, and it's the Mr. Sandman shadow. Lovely shadow. Really, really pretty. That can stay as well. Then we have this one here, which is another kind of goldy tone eyeshadow. Let me compare that one to the other one that I stayed like, that's like this. And that was the one from here, which is the... No, that's not the same. These are the one from the... What's it called? Sweet Talk palette. Just save anything else like that. No. You know, I mean, it is different, but is it necessary though? No. I'm gonna get rid of this one. This is from the Yes Please palette in the shade Butter Cake. I'm gonna let it go. I have so many goals in my collection and there's nothing special, so I can go. Then we have this one here, which feels very, very smooth to the touch. It's like a light. That's quite nice actually. It's very, very blinding. This one is from the, I think, I Love You palette, and it's the shade My Treat. That can stay. And then this one I think is Kaleidoscope from the Dream Street palette. Not the best, but I love the color. Again, it's like a nice taupey shadow. And I think that one, again, what is it? Kaleidoscope, yeah. That one can stay. Then I think lastly for the shimmers we have this one here, which looks like that. Oh, that's a beautiful eyeshadow. This is the shadow Twinkle from the Dream Street palette again. Let me compare that to the one from the Mar palette. So there we have Twinkle, and this is the one from the Mar palette. You know what, like, they're not the same. This one is more red tone, this one is more rose goldy. Do I need both though? Probably not. This is hard. I don't think I need both. This one is a bit more kind of shiny, but this one I think is more unique. So I think I'm going to hold on to that one, and I'm going to let go of this one here, which is again from the Dream Street palette. So that is this palette for now. I'm going to move this down a little bit, and I'm going to start going through the palettes and seeing if there's anything else that kind of overlapping or that I feel like I want to look at. So first of all, I do think I'm going to put this palette into here because this is a makeshift palette anyway, and I feel like I'm not going to reach for it as a standalone palette anymore. I'd rather have them as singles. So I'm going to start doing that, taking them out and comparing them. First up, this one is quite similar to that. So let's compare them two, and you see how they compare. So that is this one here, and I think this one is going to be lighter. Yeah, they're definitely different. That one is definitely lighter than this one. So I'm going to keep both. This one here is definitely unique, so that one is going to stay. This is the Out of Office or OOO from Soul. And this one here, I forgot to say, is the shade New Digs from the Soul palette as well. This one here I am going to keep. Like I said, I kept that one over Twinkle. This one here is the shade Anthem, again from the Soul palette. So that one is going to stay. We also have this one here, which is a beautiful transition shadow. This is, oh, it doesn't say, this is Sorbet, then I need to mark this one so don't forget that is Sorbet. It is in Sophie. If you don't mark this, look back at this video. This is Sorbet from the Mar palette. That one is going to stay too. Actually, let me compare it quickly to other things because I haven't done that yet. So there you have those. This one here is Sorbet, this one is that shadow, this one is that shadow. I mean, all similar but different. This one has a bit more red to it and it is unique, and these are the kind of shadows that I've used the most, so I'm going to keep it. We also have this one, which is from the She palette. It's just the shade Deer. Definitely, I feel like unique. Nothing really like it. I'm going to keep that one. And then lastly we have this one here, which is that deep brown, which is again from the Mar palette. This is My Way. Again, no label, so I need to do that one. But there's nothing really like it in here either, so that one is going to stay for now too. I almost have filled up this palette now, but yeah, this palette is now empty. It's supposed to be empty. That one can be decluttered. So yeah, that is those. Let's keep going and look at the rest of the palettes. And the only two I have left really is these two right here. And I might want to find something to put into the place of the missing spot, because I'm not going to depot both of these. Maybe I want to depot... Can I? No, I can't fit them. But yeah, maybe I do want to fill these up with other shadows. Maybe, I mean, this one will definitely work in this palette. So will this one, but is it too similar to everything else in that palette? Yes, I think I don't want that one in there. These are definitely similar to that. Maybe this one would work in there. I think so. Question is where, but that is one shadow I can put in this palette. Maybe like that. And again, this one would work too, so I'm going to put that one in. I'm kind of freestyling this palette a bit now. I was meant to like depot this more, but it works. I mean, I only have two shimmers in there, so maybe one more shimmer, but the only one I can really think of would fit in there is this one here. Would that work even? No, I don't think that works. Maybe I have to go for another matte then. I really don't know what I want to put in that spot. This is more difficult than I thought. Because I feel like I want like a light color. So maybe this one, would this one work better? Maybe that would work better because it works with that other shadow. You know what? I think that's what I'm going to go for. So here we have my new Lilac Yellow palette. We have 3 new shadows, which are this one, and this one. Yeah, that one works. So this is my new Lilac Yellow. Then for my Aha Honey palette, I mean, the obvious choice to do here would be putting back the Palooza glitter. It's a bit more tricky. I feel like a light shade like this would work in it, but does that work in the palette though? I feel like that doesn't work with the palette. I was really prepared to depot this one, but you know, I'm gonna keep it as a palette for now and see how I go about it. But I think I'm gonna put in a brown shadow in here because I feel like that would ground it down a bit more, having some more variety in it. And I do have a lot of brown in here now. For the top shadow, obviously, like the yellow matte would be a logical one, but we have so many yellow mattes in there that I don't think that makes sense. And again, another shimmer would be nice, like a light shimmer like this one even, which is one of the ones that I decluttered, would have worked perfectly in there. But I don't want to put it back just because I'm missing a shadow like that. So I'm knowing what I want to put in this palette. As you might be able to see here, I was playing around with this palette a bit, because I really do not want all of these Colourpop palettes again. I was really prepared to like depot these two, and I might still do that. We'll see what I can fit, but I do want to depot these a bit more. And I realized that if I put these on like several rows, I can fit more. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to scooch these. I might actually rearrange them. And yeah, I'll rearrange these to see how many I can fit once I rearrange them, so that we can see what I can do with this palette. These are not going to be organized in any color at the moment because I just want to see how many I can fit in here. So I can probably fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more, which is good. It's not all of them, but it's a start. So let's see what I decide to do. I do think I'm going to depot this back though, this palette, which is the Lilac Yellow palette. And I'm also realizing I haven't put labels on any of these palettes, so I might have to do that. So, you know, I'm just going to put these back for now, the ones that were out from the beginning, and take it back to the start. So again, I can fit a couple more down here. The question is, what do I want to do? Do I want to do this palette or that palette? I'm leaning towards this one actually, so I'm going to do that one now. And again, I don't have any labels on this. Let me go ahead and label these eyeshadows and I will be back. So I'm back and I have labeled all of these. So yeah, let's just take them out and I'll show you. So I label them like this. I just put on the Colourpop and then the palette and the shadow. So this is the shadow, Imagine That. This can go in here. Nothing too similar to that. Same with this one, it's just the shade Ghostin. Again, nothing too similar, so that can go in here. Fluff is another one. I'm gonna keep that one. It's one of the few shimmers that I've kept. Zoned Out is another one. Nothing too similar. I mean, there are similar shadows, but I'm gonna keep that for now. Iffy is my favorite shadow in this palette. I'm definitely going to keep this one. And then Filtered. Filtered is one that I'm a bit unsure about because I feel like all three of these, let me grab them, are quite similar. Not the same, but similar. So we have Sleeper, Silk Street and Filtered. Let me swatch them out. I love these type of shadows, but do I need 3? Probably not. I was gonna say this one is the most different because it looks like that when you first swatch it on your finger and in the pan, but they're not too different, are they? But the things that I like differently about them, like this one, I like how rich it is. I like this one, like has a bit more red to it, and this one is a bit more purpley. But I definitely don't need all of them. So there you can see them on my finger. You can probably see the difference a bit better there. This is the wrong way around. This one is there, and then so on. Oh my god, it's so hard. Oh my god, I like this one the most, but I feel like that's the one I should declutter. This one here, I like it. It's the shade Sleeper from Each My Pleasure. I love this color, but it felt a bit gritty swatching it. Yeah, I'm gonna let go of this one. It's time. So I'm gonna keep these two. They are similar, but they're definitely different. Is that the right choice? I think so. I'm not gonna, you know, hesitate anymore, because then I will second guess my choices and keep all three. So I'm gonna keep these two for now and get rid of Sleeper. So we have like 2 more spots here. So that's when it comes down to my Aha Honey palette. I also have 2 spots in here. So if I wanted to depot this palette, I would have to declutter 5, which I'm not sure if I'm ready to do, if I'm being honest. What if I take out the pressed glitters? That's 3. Or I could just put on the yellows in here and handle it later. Have like an all yellow palette. So put back Palooza in its original spot. And then instead of that one, put in the other yellow matte. And have like an all yellow palette. You know what? I'm gonna do that for now. I'm not ready to declutter more at this time. So these are the ones that I'm keeping then. Let me rearrange these quickly and I'll show you the final result. There we have my new palette. Not perfect, but I'm quite happy with it. And again, I do have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots left here. So I can build it out a little bit more if I am brave enough to maybe declutter some of these a bit more, potentially these browns, because I have a lot of them now. I could fit this in, but today is not that day. I don't feel ready for it quite yet. I mean, yeah, so I guess if I have 4 spots left, yeah, I'm guessing if I could declutter 6, I could fit this palette in there if I move the glitters. Is that something I want to do? I mean, I'm already looking at 3 I feel like I would declutter. I was looking at these and this because those are the shadows that I'm looking at to potentially declutter, or maybe like one of these matte yellows. I don't know, it's so hard, isn't it? I don't know, man. It's hard. I'm gonna keep as it is for now. I'm not mentally prepared to declutter more of these. So this is the final palette, and so far from this, like singles from palettes and from this palette, I have decluttered these, which are 10, which is really good. So 10 eyeshadows gone, and then on top of that, we also have 2 empty palettes. We have the Mar palette empty. Editing me, or I guess not editing me here, but this is gonna come in the video. I was putting everything away, and I found this eyeshadow here from my Mar palette. It was hiding because it's so dark, I didn't see it. But this one here is the shade Top Down, which is a dark brown, and I feel like I want to keep that one too because I don't have anything as dark inside in here. So that's another one that I'm gonna keep. So that is going there. And yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I am keeping that one too because I forgot about that earlier. So one more kept, as well as the Lilac Real Lot palette, which just saves some space in my drawer. So those 2 are empty. We have, this one is a little bit altered. Doesn't look very much altered when you open it up, but this one here is changed. And then these are the same, and so are the bigger ones. Let me quickly just go through the Super Shock shadows before we wrap up this video. So here we have the Super Shock shadows. Is there anything, I mean, I don't have that many left to be honest anymore. But are they worth keeping though? That's pretty. This is the Shadow Amaze. That's definitely pretty. We have the shade Sequin. Pretty, but honestly, won't use that. That can go. I'm being ruthless now because I'm tired and I just want to wrap up this video. It's 9 p.m. Now I'm chill before bed. This one here is the Shadow Fluffy. That's nice as well, but is it unique? That's a maybe. We have the shade DGAF, which I think is going to be too deep. And I feel like I'm not going to want to keep this one anymore. Yeah, that one can go. 2 so far, 2 maybes. This one here is a matte color, which I have held on for a long time because it's a beautiful transition shadow. However, I have so many transition shadows and I just never reach for this one. This is Wattles. I'm gonna let it go. I never reach for it and I have so many shadows now and I just don't feel like reaching for this one. This one is the shade Sailor. I have used this one a lot. It's a nice and a slightly blue sparkly color, but I have way better in shadows. Gonna let this one go. I think I might be ready to let go most of these, to be honest. This one here is the Shadow So Quiche. This one is quite unique. So will I reach for it though? That's the question. No. No. I'm letting it go. And then we have this one here, which is the shade Fantasy. This is the most unique out of all of them. This one I might keep because of the color, because I don't have anything like it. I don't think I have anything in my single shadows like this. And I do want to hold on to this one, just for the fun color of it, if I ever need that. And then we have these two that were the maybes. We have Amaze, which I feel like is my favorite, because it's just so pretty and easy to wear. And then we have Fluffy. You know what? Fluffy is this one here. I'm gonna let go of Fluffy. And I'm gonna keep Amaze. So I'm keeping 2. And I'm getting rid of 2, 4, 6. So 6 out of 8, which is really good. Look at the mess here now. I need to wipe down my countertop after this. But yeah, I'm keeping these 2. Fantasy and Amaze, just because I feel like those are the prettiest colors. So those 2 can stay, and then again these are getting let go. We have So Quiche, Wattles, Sequin, Fluffy, DGAF and Sailor. And then on top of that we also have these one here. So these, ladies and gentlemen, is the final declutter. Not the biggest declutter ever, but I'm very happy. I just feel like I'm getting rid of the ones that I don't like anymore. This palette is stunning now. It's all of my favorite shimmers from Colourpop, as well as a good array of mattes, which is good for BYOP piece and stuff like that, which is what I wanted. I know I have a lot of excess here, like especially the browns, but I want to wear them more miles before making decisions on them, and it is again the ones I wear the most. So for now I'm gonna keep those. Maybe when I'm ready to put this into here, I will get rid of some of those. We'll see when that happens, but for now that is that. So that is that palette. Again, these 2 palettes gone. This here is my honey palette. Then we have my Going Coconuts palette. We have my Star Wars Mandalorian Baby Yoda palette. Won't open it up. It looks the same though. We have this palette, which honestly, actually, I just realized I could get rid of these 2 and put back. No, not today. This here is my Sweet Talk palette, my At For Sight palette, and then lastly my Through My Eyes palette. Those right there are all of my Colourpop palettes, and again this is Declutter. So there you guys, that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I feel like it was a bit chaotic towards the end, but I'm very happy to have some declutter shadows, and I will have to update my spreadsheet with this, but that is for another day. But I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and I'll talk to you in my next one. Bye guys!